On this week's show, we're discussing Netflix is set to buy everything Warner Brothers, reviews are out for Metroid Prime 4 and Octopath Zero, and all of our Game Awards predictions and much, much more on this week's GamerGuild Podcast. Good game, everyone, and welcome back to the GamerGuild Podcast, your weekly show where we round up all the week's video game stories and news for your listening or viewing pleasure right here on youtube.com/GamerGuildTV and up there in the digital clouds on your podcast preference of choice. And if you're wondering why I'm giggling a bit, I was off for a week and I messed up the intro by saying Codpass instead of podcast, and it's stuck in my brain right now. Your Codpass players for this week are myself, Mr. Richie, and the Arcane Rogue, the solo one, Mr. Chris.
I'm in the right place to be here, Richie.
Indeed. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still a bit struggling with a cough. Anyone who listened to last week's solo episode will have noticed it or heard me at some point. I've had an X-ray scan and whatnot, so who knows? 3 weeks till I find those results. So if you end up doing a solo podcast because I've died, then that's on our NHS. just throw them under the bus at the start of this week's episode.
Yeah, I've been to see the NHS quite a lot recently, and I'm sick of it.
Of course, no discredit to all the wonderful people.
They're fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm going twice a week for myself because I'm going undergoing phototherapy for my psoriasis. So 2 mornings a week, I'm in our local hospital.
Right. So you're seeing how the cogs are turning.
Yeah.
Or the rusty cogs are grinding against each other and struggling to move, we should say.
So without anything else going on in my personal life, twice a week trips to hospital is a bit tedious, but
gotta be done.
Yeah.
Just like this podcast has to be done because I would not let our streak die last week.
I really, really thought that was the one that was going to finally do us after 6 years.
Yeah, well, we're so close to 500 as well, and you know what? We had all of the weekend, and it got I knew some people in our Discord server had asked, haven't seen it go up for members yet, or maybe late Saturday, early Sunday. Had my full weekend as normal, and then it got to Sunday night, and I was thinking do I just whack the camera on and run? Because the doc was already built, all the news was there and ready to go, and I thought, you know what, fuck it, just go for it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I need to apologise as well for anyone who did struggle to listen to certain parts. I tried to pull up the trailers
yes, I noticed that.
At the key time, but because it was just me on my own, I didn't put any headphones in. So I didn't have any playback. I just thought I don't need headphones because it's just me talking. Little did I realise every time I pulled up a damn trailer, the YouTube audio was playing in the background. So apologies for any audio spikes or if you couldn't hear me talking, but we kind of got through it in a way. But glad to have you back. It's tough doing it on your own for an hour of news.
You recorded late at night as well. Was it 11:30 or something you sat down to record?
I think, I started about 11:30, So it was definitely by the time it was rendered, edited, and put up, and the thumbnail and stuff was done, you're probably talking about 1:30, I think it was.
So most people listening to this was probably in bed by the time you even sat down to record.
Yeah, probably to get it up in time for the Monday deadline. But we did it. We're past it. You're back. I'm glad to have you alongside me once more.
Yeah. I had good reasons why I couldn't make it last week. Unfortunately, everything's gone well. Everyone's better, so I'm able to return. It feels like I've missed a lot of shows recently because I was away for my birthday and then, unfortunately, my partner fell ill. So in the last month, I've only done 2 shows. But I'm back.
Wow. Part-time. But the gaming news doesn't end, Richie. It never stops.
But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you're kept in the loop of all our amazing content here at GamerGuildTV, such as, Chris, how's your retro hunt going?
It's going really well. I've got 3 episodes in the bag so far, so free feeds, got access to the first episode, which was the Crash Bandicoot Black Label Hunt Down. Episode 2, which is Rugrats Search for Reptar, just went up for members now, so our guild heroes have early access to that episode as it stands, and there's another cheeky one in the bag, which I'll not reveal just yet, but obviously this series doesn't have a regular cadence because it is also resting on my financial output and stuff, and it is an expensive time of the year, and some games are more expensive than others. But my intention is to just, as I tick over week to week, month to month, and start building my collection, I will jump on, hopefully record my retro hunt, and interestingly, just have a breakdown, have a look at it. There's so many dodgy sellers or some crappy editions or people who put stuff up for obscene prices, and you do question it sometimes. But that's the second-hand market for you, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that I've picked up kind of offline just because I want them and I don't want to wait, or I've had a look at some things in like kind of lining them up for a retro hunt, and then there's almost too good of a deal to let go, where it's got like 1 day left on the buy, and I'm like, I can't get down recording time. Yeah,
you've popped into CEX on your lunch break, and there was just a bargain to be had.
It happens. I think even this last week, Destruction Derby, which was
that's a game, I think it's been there.
It is, yeah, on the PlayStation 1 by Psyonix, who went on to make like Wipeout and stuff. So like famed studio from like PlayStation 1 era. Black label, so not a platinum copy, quite rare anyway, but everywhere else it was going for like £40 for a decent version, and this one was up there for like $12.99. So I was like, I'm not going to hang around bidding and waiting for the timer to run out on this one. I'm just going to go in and get that. So yeah, got that one for an absolute steal. So we shall see that on the shelf soon. But yeah, the retro hunt continues. If you are a member of our Discord server, I've put up my entire PlayStation 1 catalogue listing. So if anyone does want to comment on the videos and suggest something I should hunt out next, or what I'm missing, or if I'm missing any top games, I mean, you can kickstart us off, Richie. Anything that you think I should definitively have in a PlayStation 1 library?
Ooh, you're the bigger PlayStation 1 fan than me. I was more N64 at the time. My brain immediately goes to Crash Bandicoot. All the Crash Bandicoots, everything Crash Bandicoot on the platform you should have.
Yep, I do already have some.
Likewise, Spyro, Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Probably maybe should look into the fighting games like a Tekken or something.
They're the ones that I probably don't have any. Yeah. I think the only ones I've got fighting game wise is X-Men Mutant Academy 1 and 2.
Every single FIFA game.
And fighting. No, I didn't actually have any FIFA games on the PlayStation. Sorry. I had some on the Sega Mega Drive, but then for some reason I just didn't. I think when I was like between 5 and 7, 8 year old, I just didn't like football. It just wasn't in my... I remember I used to talk to my cousins about it.
I think we played, but we went into it the same way as we're into it now.
Yeah, not at all. No, it took me, I think, until I got to like maybe my mid-teens before I really started to click with what football was about and stuff. But at the time, I remember arguing with my cousins, saying like, "Oh, it's just people running around kicking a ball into a net. How boring!" And then as you grow up, you're like, "Oh no, shit! It's way more than that." And yeah, the games are so good. So yeah, I didn't really get back into FIFA. I think mine was the FIFA World Cup. Mexico, I think, was the game where they look like little birds from above running around, and found if the referee tried to give you a yellow card, you could run away from him.
I think
if you couldn't catch it, he couldn't give you the card.
I had International Superstar Soccer on the N64, which I think might have been the precursor to Pro Evo. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there. And I think I definitely had FIFA 98 on PC, but I think I had another one. I think it was like FIFA International Soccer. It might have been actually on the 3DO.
Yeah, I think the one after that I can remember is the FIFA with Robbie Williams song at the start.
Well, like 2000 or something, Millennium.
2001 or something. No, it was Stop the Rock. Yeah. Oh no, It's Only Us was the song. Yeah, FIFA 2000. So yeah, that's the first one that I had.
I'm trying to still think of like classics of the era of the PlayStation. Siphon Filter comes to mind.
Don't have Siphon Filter. That's a good shout.
That's horror games. Silent Hill.
Don't have Silent Hill. Silent Hill are quite rare actually on PS1 and PS2. I do have
Resident Evil.
I do have Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I got them recently before I thought about starting up my retro collection. So there are a few, but it's a good couple of mentions there. And as I said, if anyone wants to let us know in the comments, or more importantly in our Discord, there is a specific channel dedicated to Retro Hunt now, where you can find the existing list and then anything else as we add to it.
And if you've got a lot of games in your loft that you want rid of, contact Chris.
Contact me, P.O. Box, GamerGuildTV.
We don't have a PO box, but just contact
We don't
him.
have a PO box yet.
Chris, what have you been playing?
So, you missed being on the episode, you might have listened to it, but the game Tom got me onto during his showing, and I've since completed it, and I kind of want to go for the platinum, is Dispatch.
Oh, cool.
Highly, highly, highly recommend it, and it's very quickly jumped up to probably my second favourite game of the year, behind Expedition 33. Refreshing, different, phenomenal animation, gameplay's fun, but very much like classic Telltale. And I won't go too much into it because I know I covered it extensively last week, knowing no one else was there to talk about, so I just kind of went into the full review on Dispatch. But yeah, you thoroughly enjoy this. It's right up your street with just the hue. I've never laughed so much at a video game in recent years. The comedy is on point. Like I said, gameplay is fun, animation's great, and episodic, 8 episodes. They're all about maybe 45 minutes to an hour each. Some shorter than others, so you can get through the whole thing in probably about 2 sittings, I would say. But yeah, about £30 on the PlayStation Store, and highly recommend it. Again, I won't go too much into it, but yeah, this is definitely one that you'll really, really enjoy. It ticks a lot of your boxes.
Yeah, I'm going to add it to my wish list, actually, because you've mentioned it before. I know Tom raved about it. You mentioned last time I spoke to you that you were getting really into it.
And done. And now I'm doing it was one of them where I finished it and I immediately wanted to do a second playthrough. That's how good the story was. But I wanted to do a second playthrough with the other options. It's almost like see what it could have been, like an alternate universe version of my pickings. Is
it one where there's multiple routes and there's different trophies for different endings, or is it?
There is, hence the second playthrough.
Yeah.
But
so it's not you're not just doing a second playthrough because it was that good. You need to keep playing. It's also there's trophies to get.
Trophies predominantly, but also I just wanted to see which decisions I would have done the opposite thing and seeing what path that leads down. If there's like a good villain, because again, it's all about superheroes, so you can imagine there's a good guy, a bad guy arc you can do. You can pair up with certain people. The game forces you to make a few decisions in the moment of like, those like perfect ones where like both outcomes are kind of favourable to you, but you're going to piss one party off by picking the other. And then you're thinking like, is that going to affect me long term or not? So yeah, makes you really think on the spot sometimes as well, and some clever little puzzle games sprinkled in to make it fun and engaging. But yeah, can't wait for season 2. The voice acting is fantastic. The cast list is great. And just very, 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 very great game. Highly, highly recommend it.
Anything else?
I've just started Avatar Frontiers of Pandora again because the third person update dropped. Right. And shout out to Ubisoft because they give me a code for the full... all the DLC and stuff that's dropped with it as well, the deluxe edition.
That's awesome.
And I've jumped back into that, and there is an article, I think, later in our news story.
Yeah, it's a news item,
which covers it a bit, so I won't get too much into it here, but enjoying what I've played so far, and this is the update that I was waiting for, because I like Ubisoft games. I like Avatar. I don't think it's as good as people rave on, how much money it's made at the box office, but I like it enough to explore it, and it's very much Far Cry in an Avatar world.
Avatar is very good. I've watched both Avatar films so far. I thought the first one was overblown because it's all about the 3D stuff. It's like it was visually beautiful, but that's kind of, I feel like it was an okay movie that just looked phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I actually watched Avatar 2, Way of Water, I think it was, on the plane on the way back from New York.
Yeah, poor James Cameron.
Oddly enough, because how I watched it, I think I might have enjoyed it more because I wasn't distracted by the visuals. I was more engrossed in the story.
Okay, interesting.
So, obviously, it's a very visually stunning movie, but I was like, well, now if it's going to be a good... This is really actually probably a good test of whether it was a good movie or not. Because it's not... I'm not just watching it because it looks pretty. Yeah, it has to actually entertain me, but yeah.
Yeah, the type of movies that I never really want to watch again. Like, I'm not... If it shows up on, like, Christmas Day, I'm not really going to sit down and go, come on, family, gather around, let's watch Avatar, The Way of Water, or Fire and Ash is the new one. But I will book out a specific trip to an IMAX with my wife to go see it because it is a visual experience for the eyes. So.
We're talking about watching Avatar 1 and 2 on the run-up to Avatar 3 coming out.
Yeah.
Just as a refresher, I don't think Nat's seen Avatar 2.
Oh, well, okay.
So, But,
maybe we can get some synergy going there, and we can hit up a Odie and I Max day trip together some point.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah. Don't want to invite these schmucks listening along at home and on their commute.
You are welcome to come, but I will not acknowledge your existence. Unless you remember.
Yeah, guild members, if you're a freeloader on the podcast feeds, it's like you get utterly blanked.
No, if you see me in the wild, just say hi.
Hi.
Yeah. As for me, I can't remember whether I told you, but I have finished Tales of Symphonia.
I don't recall if you have or haven't, but that's good to hear. I feel like you've been playing that for a while now.
I think I was only playing for a little over a month.
Feels like a while.
I had no interest to go for the platinum because how long to PlayStation PSN profiles had the platinum trophy in around about, I think it was 175 hours and about 4 playthroughs.
No thanks.
I think we probably clocked in about 80 hours or something. I've talked before about how my numbers always skew because I leave the bloody thing on all the time. So I don't know the actual number, but it's like I had no interest in continuing playing. But awesome story, really enjoyed my time with it. But I was ready to move on by the time.
Yeah.
The combat, I feel like was definitely feeling really, really dated in not a kind of good way. Because it is action-based rather than like turn-based or something. So I feel like it's the sort of game where that doesn't age as well. I think it's one of them turn-based. Because it is because the nature of turn-based, I think it always will age better than action. But I enjoyed it. So while I was waiting for Octopath 0, which I'm currently playing, I just played a bit of Octopath 1.
All right, okay, just wetting your whistle, ready for the new one.
I had about a week to kill, so I was like, well, I didn't want to really start anything new. It sounds like I probably should have just started and bought and played Dispatch, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, within a week you could have got that done and dusted. And
I also didn't want to buy anything new as well, so I was like... So I've got Octopath. So I played a bit of Octopath 1. Octopath 1, amazing game. If you haven't played it, you should play it. And I've started playing Octopath 0.
Well, we'll get into that when we get to the review section of the show.
Which I think, Chris, it's about time that we introduce our lovely audience to
the graciously gathered Gamer Guild Gazette, a.k.a. The News.
The News, and as always, the news is brought to you by our Guild Heroes, which you can join for as little as 99p, where you can get early access to Chris's retro hunt. What's he going to be buying next? I don't know, actually. He does. We talked about it earlier in the show. Do you? Oh, well, there you go. That's 99p. Worth the money. I'm
telling you.
Yeah. First news item of the day, Chris. And it's a biggie.
It is a biggie.
As we know, WB kept flirting with whether or not they want to be sold or not, and Netflix have stepped in and agreed to buy them for an estimated $82.7 billion.
Which is more than the Microsoft Activision deal, which I'm actually shocked in a way that Warner Brothers would be valued so highly.
Well, they've got Batman and Harry Potter.
They do, but just as a... I don't know, I feel like the Call of Duty Activision deal was so huge at the time. It was like the biggest deal in entertainment history. And then I know it's not I say it's not much more. It's still around like 3 billion more, which is a shit ton of money, but it's just, it still has to go through all of its like kind of regulatory checks, and there's a lot of, there's going to be, basically everything that happened with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King is going to happen in the movie industry now. It's going to come under massive scrutiny for consumerism, competitive business, what they're going to do. Again, we'll get into the game side of things, I guess, after an overall view of it, but my biggest concern is the movie industry.
Yeah, I think this is a big caveat to this compared to the Activision deal. The Activision deal was a gaming deal, predominantly. This is a multimedia deal, so this is everything Warner Bros. Discovery. So it's got the Discovery bit in there, like Activision. We all say Activision Blizzard, but is Activision Blizzard king? All three of them are gaming, but Warner Brothers Discovery. So it's everything from the movies, the production studios, the TV shows, the gaming divisions, all their IP, everything. Literally everything that is WB is in the process of being bought by Netflix.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? It's like so much. And I guess that's the biggest story for us within that, is that all of this has been picked up by every news outlet on the planet, and the kind of little shred of nugget of information that is critical to us is that includes the gaming division. We've had rumours over the last year or so of like, is it going to split off? They've obviously restructured. They closed some studios. So basically they moved a few things around. I think we always anticipated that the gaming division would be sectioned off somewhere else. And we heard rumours of certain companies flirting with it. There was a rumour at one point PlayStation might look at them, and then that kind of went away. And we're kind of here now where Netflix and Netflix games by proxy are going to own some of the biggest gaming IP, some of the biggest gaming franchises, and some of the best studios, arguably.
I mean, if we go through like the biggest IP in the gaming space, they've got Hogwarts, they've got the Hogwarts Legacy, so they've got Harry Potter license, they've got the DC licenses, they've got Game of Thrones licenses to a certain degree for some games.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Lego. Yep. And the Nemesis system, but they don't have the Lord of the Rings anymore.
Yeah, it's the Embracer Group who have Lord of the Rings. They do have, I guess probably by partnership, they will have like a by proxy deal for the Lord of the Rings, because it's Warner Brothers that still do the movie license and stuff.
Yeah, but
so they'll have like a
gaming.
semi. Yeah. But I mean, they'll have like, I guess, legacy license stuff for like the Shadow of War games and stuff. So, but it's that wild thing that taking games out of it, back to our Avatar point, and why a lot of people are kind of worried is that if this goes through, currently at the moment, like Warner Brothers production studios, they make shows for other companies as well. They are a fully fledged like business entity unto themselves. So I'm pretty sure things like Ted Lasso for Apple TV, that was made by Warner Brothers. So it was like produced, filmed, shot, recorded, edited, and then sold out and shipped out to other things. Netflix don't do that. They just keep everything in-house. And I think the biggest worry for moviegoers, and for me as well, is thinking that because Netflix now own all of this, HBO, Game of Thrones, is all of that going to go into that Netflix model where maybe shows like House of the Dragon don't get to a third season, or Last of Us doesn't get to a third season because the audience data and statistics, and we've seen Netflix like knock things on the head, scrap shows, cancel shows if it doesn't hit like Stranger Things numbers every single time. And it's a model that they do I think a 1 month or a 2 week cinema run just so they get nominated for Emmys.
Yeah.
So they kind of like fudge the numbers a little bit. They never do full theatrical releases at a full like statewide studios. And that kind of has me worried, because WB, for all they have like their ups and downs with like DC and stuff over the years, is they are one of the biggest players in movie production history. They've got a huge legacy. Well, yeah, and I'd hate for that to just become a streaming service entity.
They've made like some of the arguably some of the greatest films of all time, from like back in the day, like Casablanca and Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
All the way up to K-pop Demon Hunters, which my nephews apparently enjoy.
Is that Warner Brothers?
Yep. According to GamesIndustry.biz, it is.
Wow.
They have literally. I'll read the paragraph. By combining Warner Brothers' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane to modern favourites like Harry Potter and Friends, could get a Friends action RPG there, with our culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Game. Oh no, they're Netflix. Sorry.
That's what I was thinking, because K-pop Demon Hunters was Netflix through and through.
But from a gaming point of view, this is not just Netflix buying that. Like, it's not just Netflix buying the IP for Warner Brothers. It's they're buying the gaming studios, and they have their own IP, which they can inject into. A Stranger Game, like survival horror game, could be on the cards.
Again, it kind of goes both ways. And when Netflix for games started up, we always thought they're going to have that Stadia problem and the Amazon Luna problem of like, you don't own your studios. So you've got some great IP, but you don't really have the kind of the chops to kind of bring it to life and do something. So yeah, if they could give Stranger Things to a Rocksteady or a WB Montreal, which will no doubt get renamed, a Harry Potter game, we've seen Hogwarts Legacy kind of like take it through the roof.
I feel like the WB branding is something that Netflix will probably want to keep alive.
You would hope so, for like the amount of legacy that comes with it.
Yeah.
and like recognizability as well. But then it all goes back to, if everything just ends up on a streaming service, does the word WB before it really matter?
Yeah,
it holds gravitas in the movie world as a cinema release, but just if it just shows up before the Netflix, does it? Will it? I feel like it'll just become liquidated down, where it's like it'll just mean like it's another Netflix movie.
When it comes to streaming services, I think Netflix will absorb everything under Netflix. Anything classically produced, anything produced by WB will probably have the WB logos as any other studio would. But I don't think you're going to get a Warner. I think any Warner Brothers streaming service is probably dead now. Eventually, it will just be merged into one under Netflix. And well,
that's the other thing, isn't it? Like currently, the DC thing's been ran by James Gunn and Peter Safran. I want to say is like it's a separate thing unto itself. Same with HBO. It's ran as like very much an independent entity of WB.
Yeah. I also get HBO's WB.
Yeah, it's because in the UK we don't have HBO Max or anything, so it's kind of like a bit skewed. It's like with Disney Plus, we don't have Hulu. Over here, it's just we just get it on Disney Plus, whereas in the States,
I think we're getting HBO Max.
Yeah, I think it's all. Well, we might not anymore, but it's it's all consolidation, isn't it? But we all know, we've seen it in the games industry. Consolidation, unfortunately, does also bring redundancies as part of restructuring, multiple job duplications. So there's going to be probably thousands of people are not only going to lose their jobs from this. It seems like cinemas, movie theaters are going to suffer. The output, again, the creative output, my worry is the less creative fields and places for people to go pitch scripts and pitch movies, they've got less places to go now. And I feel like if you've got one option of taking a pitch to Netflix and WB, you've got more of a higher chance of getting something greenlit and sent to a pilot or a fully fledged production. Whereas if it is just Netflix, I could kind of see them going, it's not really a Netflix movie, never mind. And then because of that, do we lose out on potential great new franchises or blockbusters because they don't give it a chance because it doesn't fit the Netflix mantra, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. To be honest, it is one of them things where industry consolidation is massively problematic for creative people who are independent creative people who've got an idea for a movie, want to get the pitch, but it's one less player to pitch to. Although I think it could also go the other way. This could be Netflix being more open-minded. Now they've got more studios. They've got a greater capacity to produce stuff, so they might be able to take more risks. But WB's actually stocks keep falling, so it's not in a great position. So they'll probably want to stabilise that, and they're probably going to focus on their key IP to do such. I would have thought.
Yeah, well, you would imagine as a priority list, the gaming division probably sits further down the ladder than movies and TV and music to an extent. In terms of WB Games, I mean, we've lamented them for the past decade on our shows now of just like the output, both the quality and the frequency of it. And I think looking to the future, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is probably their safest bet. That will make them a ton of money. That is a guaranteed, even if it's just a replica of the original.
This also could mean that Netflix are going to oversee WB's decision making, because WB Games kept pushing this idea of games as a service, even when every single games as a service they release has been an abject failure. But when they've made single player story narrative focused games, they've always done fairly well. Hogwarts Legacy being the gem there, but also if Shadow of War wasn't covered full of right in the middle of the loot box controversy, we probably would have had a sequel to it. Yep. So it wasn't the quality of the narrative of the game; it was the loot boxes that were shoehorned in there. That was the problem. Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year winning, patent the Nemesis system. The Arkham series, fantastic, but then Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, garbage.
And Gotham Knights
as well, garbage.
Yeah.
So maybe some fresh heads at the top of the company. You might start to see the likes of Rocksteady, Avalanche Games, etc. start producing the content that they want.
Well, Avalanche are gone now, right? Are they gone?
No, it's Monolith.
No, it's Monolith. Yeah, sorry.
They were making the Wonder Woman single-player narrative game.
Yeah. So we presume Rocksteady are working on a new Arkham game. We presume NetherRealm are working on Mortal Kombat because they've done Injustice and they tend to pivot back in time. So it could be a new Injustice game, but it seems unlikely. Game of Thrones, we know there's that RTS game that's coming out in the future, but what that'll look like in terms of just shows and production. The Lego games, we know we've got the Batman. What was it called? Batman. The Arkham Lego. That looks great.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Dark Knight. So yeah, no, everyone knows which one. But then in terms of that, like I said, there's not really much going on. So if you're over at Netflix Games and you work there, this is fantastic for you in a way. Like, you've now got the potential to bring on some world-class, proven studios who are a bit hard on the look right now. And like I said, bring them in and go, would you like to make a Stranger Things game? Would you like to work with us? We're like, it's an interesting dynamic, but I do think as an overall picture, I do worry a little bit just for the wider impact on multimedia across the board.
This is where you might, I reckon, in the next year or two, while this deal's going through, you'll see Netflix shake things up themselves and where the company's structured. And I think they will point, segment their gaming division a bit more. Because now, Netflix are already massive. They're buying one of the biggest businesses in the world that has also got movies, it's got production studios, it's got IP management. Do they even have a foothold in music? And like,
I would have thought, WB Music.
They've definitely got animated stuff going. They've got games. Like, you need to be able to manage this somehow, and you want to manage each of these things in a way that best brings the best out of them. Netflix are keen to get into games, so focusing on getting the gaming division of Netflix up and running, with Warner Brothers included, would be great. So whoever is heading up that, it'd be great for them to do the tour of the studios, meet the key players and go, look, out of all the IP we've got, what would you like to work on? And I think Stranger Things will come up a lot. And then pitch a Stranger Things game. Like, if it's a good idea, go for it. Like,
yeah.
I want to be optimistic here. Like,
yeah, I mean, we keep saying Stranger Things, but it's finished now. So what's to say that like that bubble's just like done?
I think the IP is strong enough that if a game came out in 5 years' time and look the business, it could last the test of time. Yeah.
There's also the sports element. I think Warner Discovery has just made big plays for like Champions League coverage, Premier League coverage. I watch a couple of games every other week through that now, so I don't know how that competes. But we are in a world where you've just kind of got these mega corporations buying up more and more stuff, and you do wonder at what point is it just going to be Blade Runner levels of it's just two companies that own everything.
Yeah.
Disney, Apple, like basically who's the biggest fish left in the pond?
Could we finally see some serious Game of Thrones games coming out?
I mean, about time, right? It's wild how long that's gone and we've not had them.
Yeah.
Like, again, we know it works, but I know we always lament the EA Lord of the Rings movie tie-in games. Do season 1 Game of Thrones in the style of those games where it's just hack and slash. You start Winterfell, you get a little cutscene. You start over here, you get a little cutscene, and you fight here, you fight there, you do White Walkers. You fly a dragon at one point, and then it's like, oh, season 1 ended, and then the next game does season 2. You've got 8 games out of that.
You know what? I've just thought of this might just be recency bias based on what I'm playing, but with the original 2 Octopath games, you have 8 protagonists. You can pick which one you start off with, and you can collect the other 7 in any order you want. Okay. Imagine playing through like Game of Thrones with that style of like JRPG, like turn-based kind of combat. But you can pick who you want to start off. Do you want to play through Jon Snow's story first? Or do you want to play through Tyrion's? Or Cersei's? Or Jaime's? All the point of view characters from the books. And you can play through their story and you can just experience things from their perspective. And then you can go play through another person's and then another person's and another person's. I think there's a really cool game in that. It doesn't have to be actually turn-based, actually.
And you could have the little 2.5D intro.
Yeah, you could
do the little soundtrack.
You could. The reason I was thinking like a 2.5D kind of style, turn-based, because I feel like it probably worked better than having to make an action game that suits every single one of them characters quite well. Yeah. So each of them characters' name would effectively be a different kind of class. So you've got Jon Snow uses a bastard sword, which therefore he performing combat different to, let's say, Jamie or Cersei or Arya. Bran's just a tree dude, so no one cares about him. But like, I think there's something cool to be done there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should buy Square Enix.
Should. Squid Games. There's a thing there.
Never seen it.
Should be a real game. I enjoyed season 1.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
That's why I've stayed away from mentioning Squid Games, because I genuinely haven't seen it. But I know the premise. I think there can be games there. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, someone was clearly going to buy WB. Is there anyone other than Netflix you would prefer to do it? So, other than Sony.
I mean, we had rumours Sony. I'm glad Paramount didn't get it, because Paramount's got the whole Donald Trump stuff going on at the moment, and I'd rather him not be involved in it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm glad from that front.
Hasn't he won some sort of weird, stupid FIFA award?
Oh, lifetime achievement.
The award, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, in terms of that, I don't think there's any other big players. Again, it could have been like a big, massive Chinese conglomerate came in and took over it. Like, you could have had a Saudi investment fund coming in and going like, oh, we've got EA now, let's get WB games as well, and then kind of like whitewash the whole thing.
Fast forward to the GamerGuild Podcast episode, it's 170. Saudi investment fund buys Netflix.
Yeah, it could be one of those things, couldn't it? So
yeah, but
who knows? But
I am kind of glad, although Netflix is a big player in like multimedia, I am glad it's, from a gaming point of view, these studios effectively still independent of the platform holders.
Yeah. Imagine in another world where we might be sat here on episode 300 of the Sounds of Stadia podcast going, Google buy WB games from under the nose, and they now have Rocksteady and NetherRealm and Portkey Games and some big IP to make games for. Amazon, I guess Amazon could have done it, right? For Amazon Prime.
They
could have probably been the only other one.
$82.7 billion Google could have invested in. And because it's Warner Bros., not just a gaming studio, then they would see probably more value in owning all the WB IP. Things like, again, Harry Potter being Friends and Game of Thrones, etc., being in there. These are big IP to have. Yeah.
And then I feel like Google
the studios to get the games going quicker.
Yeah. But I think Google gave up on TV movies a long time ago, because you remember they used to have like the Play Store for movies and TV, and I think you still can buy stuff, but they're very much just within the Play Store. They're not like its own entity now. Yeah, I feel if you want to watch a movie through Google, you do it on YouTube. YouTube's the platform for that. Yeah. But yeah. So who knows? It's probably going to take a good 2 or so year to get through all the legal proceedings and stuff for this one, and people will fight it and governments will step forward, because I think that's the other thing, is this isn't just a US based thing, it needs to be globally signed off. So like UK markets, European authorities also will be scrutinising this. So is it better for consumers? Probably not. They're probably going to fight that argument just like they did with Xbox, but as you point to right at the very beginning, that was still a games only buyout. Yes. Where they promised to put the games on other platforms, they promised to keep the games going, we'll put Call of Duty on Nintendo Switch too, whereas this one, Netflix CEO pretty much said cinema and theatre is a dead industry several times now, so I'm sure they'll quote himself back to himself in court and see how they play this one out, but it's going to be a while. He's not really wrong though. I mean, just look at the Mario and Minecraft movies, just grossed over $1 billion. Yeah, but I feel like, how often do you go to cinema? I'm not the demographic. You kind of are. I've got a child. I don't go out anymore. Yeah, true. But families that's it though. Like 10-year-olds. You go to our local cinema and it's dead all the time. Like, anyway. Octopath Zero, Chris. I've been playing the movie. Maybe. The Octopath, honestly, I think I wouldn't make a movie, but I think they could make some like a good TV show. A good TV show. You do, I don't know, eight episodes, because to get the 8 in there, each focused around a different character. Yeah. But yeah, Octopath Zero, it's out. I've played it. I've got about 5 hours in, maybe a bit more. Nice. Well, it's sitting with a Metacritic score of 84 currently. Sounds about right. Would you say that lines up with what you've played so far?
Yes, I would rate it quite highly for what, but I'm a fan of Octopath. So one of the criticisms I've seen is it does feel plays almost a bit too safe, some people are saying, but it's also the next game in a franchise. So I'm taking I want to play an Octopath game, not a different game with the name Octopath on it. So, but yeah, so far I'm all in on this game. I literally can't wait to play more.
That's good. Yeah. Looking through the Metacritic reviews, just as we always do to pull some, the first notable source I actually found was Push Square. So I don't know if it's maybe too close for all journalists to get their reviews out, but Push Square gave it a 7 out of 10, and similar to what you've just said, they say Octopath Traveler Zero is a perfectly solid installment in the Square Enix franchise, though its overwhelming familiarity will make large parts of it feel like a retread. Its town-building mechanics and expanded party system are smart expansions, and the move towards a single centralised story is a benefit. However, Octopath Traveler Zero will still feel largely the same as an experience of its predecessors. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, so part of what they're alluding to is it's set in the same world as Octopath 1. Octopath 2 is set in a completely different place. So part of the map, which I haven't got to any of it yet, is the map from Octopath 1, so I can't, with where I'm up to, tell you what the difference is between Zero's map and Octopath 1's map, this is actually part of why I sat with replaying a bit of Octopath 1 to remind myself.
Yeah.
But you are set in the same places, and I think it's meant to be a almost direct sequel to Octopath 1. But it has changed up the formula a bit. So, as I mentioned earlier in the show, with Octopath, traditionally, you've got 8 protagonists. Each of them have a story that kind of overlap a bit. You can play through these in any order. You get to pick at the start of the game which character you want to start with. And usually that character's locked into your party up to, I think, until you complete their story. Then you can substitute them out. You tend to have a party of 4 people at a time, but 8 party members in total. That's the kind of formula, turn-based combat. The combat hasn't changed really much. What has changed is at the start of the game, you're invited to create your own character.
Right.
And that character is your protagonist for the entire game. So instead of having 8 protagonists, you're down to 1.
All right, so that's like where they're saying the linearity is coming from.
But what they've changed up about the battle system is where in traditional Octopath, you could only have 4 of your 8 party members in your party at a time. Yeah. In Octopath, you can have Zero. You can have 8 party members in a front and back row situation, and like someone in the top slot in the front row is paired up with the one in the same on the back row. So when someone's in the back row, they will slowly restore health and SP, which is your attack points, and BP and stuff like that, while the one in the front row can attack. And when it's their turn, you can press R2 to switch them. So you can almost flip them. So you can have effectively 8 characters in battle at the same time, 4 active and 4 passive, and switch them during that character's turn.
So it feels a little bit different then.
Yeah, so they have changed it up, but the battle mechanics are basically the same other than that tweak and the new ultimate attack system where if you build up enough points as the battle goes on, you can launch an ultimate attack. My characters at the moment is just a heal. It's a really good heal because you can heal all 8 members in your party, but yeah. But other than that, the battle system's largely the same. So from what I've played, they've changed up enough to make the game interesting, but without losing the essence of what makes Octopath great. Yeah. They've been brave by moving away from the 8 storylines to effectively one strong, probably. I reckon by the end of my time with it, I'll probably go, yeah, actually that one story was probably stronger. Because rather than having 8 smaller stories, it's one big one.
That's good. So it's not too similar to what you've said about like a Ghost of Yotei, where it feels more of the same, but it's a bit more refined and focused.
I've definitely noticed improvement. I've played Octopath 1 and 2 on the Switch. So going from playing Octopath 1 on the Switch yesterday to playing Octopath 2 on the Portal, the whole thing runs smoother. Graphically, it's the same art style, but it's running a lot smoother. It's definitely running at a higher frame rate on the Portal than it is on the Switch. But there again, I'm comparing a game that's running on a PS5 to a game that's running on a Nintendo Switch 1. So,
any reason why you think the reviews for critics would be limited? I'm not seeing anything from any of the big players.
I've
said the only one was
I've had a quick look.
I know they came out
IGN's
yesterday.
is review and process.
Yeah. IGN Italia have got one out. They give it an 8 out of 10. They said, Octopath Traveler is a fine addition to the series.
I think there's two things. One, it is retreading some older ground in terms of the setting a bit, but it's a prequel, so that's to be expected. And I don't know what exactly yet, but some of it is apparently taken from the Octopath mobile game. From what I understand, maybe almost verbatim. But I think that's referring to the town building mechanic.
Right, okay. That would make sense. Oh, well.
So
apologies to
I feel like the
Italian listeners.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm rating it quite highly. It's probably... short game time so far, only about 5 or 6 hours. It may be my second favourite game of the year behind Clair Obscur.
Wow.
Potentially could eclipse it.
Wow.
But it could also fall down behind either Oblivion or
Dispatch.
Potentially Dispatch, but I doubt I'm playing Dispatch this year at this point. It's like I'm too soon to tell which way it's going to go. So at the moment, I've been looking forward to it. I've sat down into the game I want it to be from what I've played. I've not been sullied by any of the mobile game shit, so that's all new to me anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm personally looking forward to revisiting towns and areas that I've been to before.
Familiarity.
And seeing what the difference is. I'd imagine the more settlements were... Oddly enough, I'm expecting more settlements to be bigger because it's a newer game, but also meant to be technically in law smaller because it's set before.
Well, I'm sure we'll get updates as the weeks go by.
Yeah, we will
see
indeed.
where you land on that one.
Another game that came out this week, Chris, is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
8 years after its initial reveal, it's finally here. And I guess 18 years of waiting officially since Metroid Prime 3.
Yep.
So it's been a minute. Starting off, Nintendo Life gave it a 9 out of 10. They said, after 18 years of waiting, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond manages to replicate the magical sense of discovery from the GameCube original series while pushing the series in some incredible new directions. Separating the main biomes with a vast open world sounds ridiculous on paper, but the slick traversal provided by Viola makes... I'm guessing that's the bike in the game?
Don't know.
Possibly. They've broken it down Viola, which sounds, I don't know, makes the exploration more satisfying than ever. Combine this with the stunning art direction, ferocious new boss characters, and a surprisingly endearing squad of Federation troopers, and Beyond is quite possibly the boldest, most well-realised Metroid game to date. Make no mistake, the long wait has been more than worth it. Welcome back, Samus. So a ringing endorsement there from Nintendo Life.
So it is rated at an 80 overall, so I'm going to read from VGC, who've rated it as at 60. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond feels like a game stuck between two worlds. When it's emulating previous entries, Beyond is a blast, with excellent boss battles and some truly gorgeous environments to explore. But this is eventually bogged down by out-of-place additions, awkward storytelling, and overly aggressive hand-holding that spoils the discovery. That hand-holding bit is a bit of a shame, really, because in Metroidvania games, exploring the world, finding weird stuff that you can't access, coming back when you have a new ability is part of it, and half the genre comes from Metroid.
Yeah.
So if VGC are right and it's kind of abandoned some of that and holding your hand a bit too much, you're kind of losing what makes the genre what it is.
Yeah. Forbes gave it a 9 out of 10. They said Metroid 4 Beyond is worth the wait. The new characters are not in any way over chatty, and it's still a mysterious and moody alien treasure hunt Metroid fans have come to love, but now with a funky alien bike. I still rate the original Prime trilogy over this, but those games were pretty much faultless, whereas this is just thoroughly excellent. So quite a ringing endorsement there again. Do you want to pull another mid one? Just so we've got a good spread.
Games Radar Plus, a 70. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is finally here after an 18-year wait. At its best moments, it feels like no time has passed at all, as I'm awed by the melancholy and mysterious vibes of the exploration-focused FPS. So it seems like it's getting the vibes right. But at many moments, it's bogged down by odd new features that detract from what's almost one of Samus's best. Being so close to greatness can sometimes be the bitterest feeling of all. It seems like they've added new features which have kind of gone in the way of what it does well. That's the vibe. That's what I'm getting from some of these reviews.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we know it's gone through like a very turbulent production cycle, and I think it wasn't going to be Retro who did it initially, and then I think they took over when it got fully rebooted again, didn't it? About 4.5, 5 years ago, where we had the trailer 8 years ago at some event, at like a Nintendo event, and then all of a sudden 4 years later, like, oh, we've just started on pre-production, and then it finally moved back to Rare, I think in 2019, I think they came out and said like it's restarted under a new studio.
Yeah.
Or there was Retro who originally did it, so it's kind of gone full circle now, and it's good to see that it's landed. I guess it's stuck the landing, you would say, but it's one of them franchises that I still just look at and think it feels and looks dated, but that's from an outside point of view. So I'd love people in the comments to let me know like what actually makes it unique, because I'll look at it and just think it looks like a slower, lesser graphically version of a Doom game, I guess, in a way. Like that's all I can really compare it to something else, but I guess it's a franchise, it's a game's genre unto itself, right? Because it defined part of what becomes a Metroidvania.
Yeah,
3D Metroidvania, we should say.
I'm just looking through some of the user scores to see, because there's some negatives where the critics are usually mainly positive and a few mixed that pull it down to an 80. The user score is sitting at 8.3, and there's the negatives are just talking gibberish, to be honest. There's a few, as they do. There's a few that are pretty much echoing the critics, but being harsher with the scoring. So the additional content that's getting in the way of what it does great, that kind of thing. Some pacing issues, and then instead of where a critic might go, you know what, because of this, I'm giving it a 6 or a 7 instead of an 8 or a 9. We're giving it a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So there's nothing worth picking in there.
Yeah. But it looks like another bona fide exclusive hit for Nintendo, Switch 2. So then, you've got another one, add it into the roster. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and now Metroid, all within a decent 6-month launch window for the Switch 2. Yeah,
I'd say it's solid, but not exceptional.
Yeah.
It's a good library edition, but I don't think it's going to be Game of the Year next year.
No, well, I mean, it's just missed the cutoff, hasn't it? So the recency bias is probably going to suffer massively.
Octopath, though, that could be Game of the Year next year.
We shall see.
It won't be because of the recency, because it's got an entire year of people forgetting about it, and all the cool stuff that's coming out next year, which hopefully we'll hear about at the Game Awards, Chris.
Yes, next week. Well, at the time the show goes live, it's this Thursday/Friday, depending on your time zone. Jeff Keighley's back. He's going to have, no doubt, tons of awards. Hopefully nobody breaching security and getting up on stage. A good couple of dance numbers. The Games Awards
ruined.
The Game Awards, Symphony Orchestra doing an amazing medley of tunes. And I guess do you want to just throw out some predictions that we've got? So it's in a couple of days' time. Some things we've had confirmed now through developers and tweets and stuff like that. Where do you want to go to start with? From what we've
you found a Reddit article that pulls a few things together. So these is listed as rumours, so these aren't confirmed unless we say otherwise. Exodus is confirmed, and Neon Giant's Project Impact are confirmed. I do not know anything about either of these games.
The Exodus game is, we just seen that at... What was the last thing? Was the Xbox showcase?
I think
I'm trying to find a trailer on it.
Is this like the space game? I think. I'm trying to.
I can't see. I keep getting Metro Exodus. It looks like the next sci-fi masterpiece. Sorry, cough right in the microphone.
I don't think we got much info last time out, did we, on this?
It's a new sci-fi action RPG with veteran developers with time dilation mechanics. Could this be the masterpiece for 2026? So yeah, it looks a little bit like Returnal, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Meets Dead Space, perhaps.
Return to Dead Space. No.
I don't know. I'm looking at the trailer. I don't actually recognise any of the character and stuff. There's a bear in an incubation tank. Why have I not heard anything about this? Exodus game. We're doing some real world research here, folks. Exodus is an upcoming archetype game studio by former BioWare developers, which is probably where the sci-fi stuff comes in with the Mass Effect. It actually looks quite Mass Effect on the poster art. Published by Wizards of the Coast.
You saw a cinematic trailer a year ago.
Yeah, the Game Awards. It was revealed at the Game Awards 2023, so 2 years ago. Oh, it's the one where they brought Matthew McConaughey on stage, and yeah, they showed us a guy, and it looked very. It didn't look like a game; it just looked like a CG trailer for a movie.
Yeah,
and Matthew McConaughey was talking about it, and we were like, "No gameplay." He's talking about it as though he's on this project, but he doesn't really know why he's here. Because he's clearly not into gaming or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure it was just more for Matthew McConaughey on stage. So
I feel like
clearly they're in tandem with Jeff.
It's your classic. He's a CGI trailer that tries to set the story up without doing any spoilers for a sci-fi game. And was like, well, I kind of need to see what the game is, but. They did 11 months ago. They did release a YouTube video that has a brief amount of gameplay footage where it looks like a third-person shooter with a few stealth elements. Or at least he's crawling behind someone and stabbing him with a laser sword attached to his hand. There's a frog.
Well, reading from the Exodus website, says, step forward and become the Traveller, leading humanity's fight for survival against the Celestials. In this epic sci-fi action-adventure RPG, face our evolution 40,000 years into the future. Extraordinary worlds and confront time... explore extraordinary worlds and confront time itself to shape the fate of generations to come. Forge a legacy that shapes the generations. Become Yun Aslan, salvager turned traveller, a renegade among the stars, sail at the edge of light speed to recover celestial remnants that could save humanity. Return home to find that your sacrifice and time itself have reshaped the very future you're fighting to save. That's why they joked about Matthew McConaughey, because he was in Interstellar. So I think you remember him being on stage saying, like, I have quite a bit of experience in time dilation.
That rings a bell.
So it looks like a little bit shooter mechanics similar to that of like Returnal, with celestial aliens and stuff, and you're collecting remnant pieces. And it actually does have quite a good premise. I like the whole thought of time dilation and stuff that you do, I guess, when you maybe go out on missions. When you get back, everything might have changed or updated depending on how long you're away for. There could be a fun gameplay mechanic in there somewhere where, depending on how long you take to beat a level, impacts things back at base, maybe. Like, all your colleagues are dead, they're too old, or whatever. A bit like if you've seen Lightyear, the Pixar Disney movie.
I haven't.
It's good, to be fair. Got a lot of shit, but it's a good movie. But yeah, I think that's a definite. Jeff clearly likes the studio. There's, of course, that mystery statue that Jeff Keighley started tweeting about this past week. I don't know if you've seen it. Where
it'd be
he
hilarious if it was just a statue.
Well, and Jeff's just like...
Yeah. Well, I bought a
just
statue.
like statues. Possibly. But his mysterious statue seems to be teasing things. There's a couple of insider people who've taken to it. He basically posted this like statue in the desert with loads of like creatures' bodies clambering over each other. It looks like some kind of gate to another realm, with the quote, regal, full stop, inspiring, full stop, thickness. That's a weird one. But there's a few people came out and said, it's not Diablo 4, so don't worry about that.
It's Diablo Mobile 2.
Yeah, it's not Elder Scrolls 6. Don't worry about that. I think Cory Barlog confirmed it's not God of War. So basically, it's none of them. And
I'd guess Kojima with some of that OD.
I mean, if it's Jeff, it could be anything to do with that, couldn't it? Another one that's long rumoured, I covered it on last week's show, is there was a ESRB rating for Control Resonant, which seemingly is going to be the name for the Control 2 sequel. It got rated just ahead of the Game Awards, and we know Jeff Keighley is massively in bed with Remedy and Sam Lake and stuff at the moment. We know Control's probably due a bit of a showcase anyway. We had Alan Wake 2 years ago, and last year briefly. Yeah. This makes sense. Right? This
FBC
is probably my
Firebreak.
Absolute. Yeah,
damage
yeah,
their reputation.
This is probably my one, probably absolute shoe-in that you are going to see on it. I think
it
I
does
also
feel
covered...
like the right place and time, actually.
It does. I think
probably 2028 game, I'd guess.
I could see it even being next year, depending on how much of a size Remedy have ballooned up to. Because Alan Wake was like 2 years ago now, and I think they've been working on both projects at the same time. I could see it being 2026 September time.
Yeah, I think if they turn around when 2026, I'll be thinking it's 2027, and I reckon they'll get delayed. If it's 2026, it'd be late 2026, and they're running into the Grand Theft Auto territory. And while Control and Alan Wake are both beloved franchises, it took them a long time to become profitable. I feel like that's where they would want to make sure that they have the spotlight to give themselves the best chance.
True. I do think Control has better marketing than Alan Wake.
Yeah.
And I know it goes back to what we said years ago about just a game called Alan isn't the easiest to market to like big people, where Control had all the bombastic, frenetic gameplay, funky sci-fi abilities, and it had that really good colour palette in it with like the red and the black.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, it's a PC port. I think it probably will be there, but it's just like he's a very quick 15-second trailer and go out now on PC, that kind of thing.
You think Kojima's going to put out a 10-second trailer?
30 seconds.
I reckon a 10-minute long director's cut / monologue.
Yeah.
Now, as much as we all love Kojima, I really hope, and we say it every other year, it's like, he doesn't need that much stage time. He doesn't need to come on with his translator, and we have to hear everything in English and Japanese twice over. Like, I get it.
If he had something big to show, give him the space. If he's got a PC port of a game that came out this year, he doesn't need to be on stage for it. Sorry, Kojima, you don't. You're getting really in the way of the people who deserve their moment.
Yeah, agreed. Silent Hill remake. I think this could be there in just the form of a splash screen and a 10-second tease of like Pyramid Head or something like that.
This is one where I think it might be. He's a very, very, very quick tease. It cuts to Jeff Keighley saying, "If you want to know more about Silent Hill remake, check us out at Opening Out Live Gamescom."
Yeah.
Like a kind of point to the next showcase. That's where you'll see more, because he does that sometimes, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. I also think two of the absolute shoo-ins are going to be Resident Evil Requiem.
Yes,
as well, because that comes out in February.
It's rumoured to be a Leon reveal, but
I mean, there's been a lot of rumours saying that he's in the game, so I could see that being like, let's just bite the bullet and show one of the franchise's famed protagonists is back. He is in the game, just like Chris was in Village. Like, just pull the plaster off and showcase it. So I think that's definitely going to be like the last big push. And another one with a similar vein is going to be 007 First Light. That comes out in March. So I can see that again. It's IO Interactive, done quite a lot of marketing already. There's another news story.
Have they released the Bond Gal yet? Have they announced the Bond Gal yet?
No, they haven't.
They did the car.
They did the car.
They've done Bond.
The theme tune? Do we know who does the theme tune yet? Because that's quite a big deal in Bond games, isn't it?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Instead of doing a trailer, you get a band on stage to do the Bond theme for the game.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I could see that. Introducing the whoever symphony orchestra to introduce First Light, performed by mic drop on some famous celebrity singer.
Often a random pop star or anything. So like whoever it's going to be, like Chris Cornell famously did Casino Royale.
Yeah,
with the orchestra backing him. The two people who I remember who could do Bond themes for some reason were Chris Cornell and Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, Goldeneye, written by.
That's why I remember. Two of the best
written
films.
By Bono on the Edge from U2. Wrote that randomly for Tina Turner. You've got Adele did Skyfall. That was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
Is it the White Stripes? did one of them with Alicia Keys, I think, maybe. Who else have we had? Obviously, over the years, you've had fantastic singers, but I'm trying to think who... Oh, Billie Eilish did one, right? She did the last one, I think, for... I can't remember what the last one was. No Time to Die, I think. I don't know. My traditional rule of Bond, and I'm a big Bond fan, but generally the new movie with the new Bond is the best of their series, and they just progressively get worse after that. They have a fantastic first one, fresh take, bit of a reboot, audience all behind it, and then the just diminishing returns, movie on movie on movie.
With Daniel Craig, you could argue...
Casino Royale's the best.
I think you could argue Skyfall competes. I personally, I would go with Casino Royale, Skyfall, No Time to Die, Spectre, then Quantum of Solace. He did 5 for me.
Yeah. If I sat down the pen and paper, I could figure out. And obviously, Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye, top tier. I enjoyed Tomorrow Never Dies. I think actually the story of Tomorrow Never Dies has more relevance in today's world than it did back then. But and then
is Tomorrow Never Dies the one with the giant space laser?
No, it's the satellites and the news taking over everything in China.
Oh, right, yeah. I to be honest, them two films I get mixed up in my head.
And the BMW, and he has the stealth ship, and he's pitting China against the West.
Yeah.
And basically controlling the news, because war
But,
war creates news and creates money and clicks and likes, and so it is more relevant now than it ever has been. Yeah. It's why he has the cool BMW remote control car. For the first time.
I'm thinking the one with the ice battle.
Oh, you're thinking of Die Another Day with Madonna and the giant laser.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lasers
again,
in Bond.
I get them two in my head mixed up a lot. But anyway, I reckon the new Bond film will be at the Game Awards because it feels perfect, which means it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. And shout out to Al Davis Music, and is always in our chat in our Discord.
Who's done the new Bond theme?
Yeah, who's done who's Everything or Nothing, which is the Bond theme from the PlayStation 2 game. Brilliant song. So yeah, I think they'll definitely be there. Ubisoft had a very quiet year outside of Shadows. All things said and done.
I think it's going to be another quiet year. Well,
do you think?
What have they got? Prince of Persia's later in the news, but might as well bring it in
Just
now.
Bring it up here,
Yeah, Prince of Persia the remake is reportedly due January, but it's also been confirmed to not be at the Game Awards, which seems a weird move.
Ubisoft? Why? Like, just throw it in there. Why not? Unless they're really worried about how it's going to be received, so they just want to keep it as low-key as possible.
The cynical part of my brain is feeling like they've done what they can. It's not up to scratch, but they need to get it out. They can't spend any more time and money on it, so they're going to quietly put it out to die. Get some money back. Try and keep the spotlight off it. Try and make it one of them games where you think in 6 months' time go, oh shit, that came out. I feel like that might be it, because otherwise, if it's up to standard, Ubisoft in a bit of a rocky position right now. Like, get the spotlight on it. It feels like they're intentionally keeping the spotlight off, but...
Well, the flip side to that is there's the long-rumoured Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced version, or rebooted version with the tweaks to the story and the campaign and stuff. I think if they launch that one first and then follow it with Prince of Persia, I think Prince of Persia could almost like sail on some of the good wind that Black Flag could get.
Yeah.
But I think if you go the other way, where Prince of Persia is a shit show, I think that'll diminish Black Flag's return. So I think you go with your 1-2 punch of your better one first, and then you'll maybe get a bit of goodwill leading into the Sands of Time remake. In
the awkward position Ubisoft are currently in, if Prince of Persia is at the Game Awards but it looks shit again, they need this game to look immaculate next time they show it. Otherwise, people are just going to write it off. But then that cynicism is going to carry over to Black Flag, Black Flag remake, and any other projects they're working on, because there's going to be you're just going to get dissenters like myself kind of turn around and go, they only seem to be able to pull off Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed it wasn't even the best Japanese-based samurai game this year. In a year like Ghost Yote, I think it's fallen short of the Game Awards. It's not really a contender for Game of the Year. I can't remember whether it's actually in or not.
It's not in Game of the Year.
It's not in the year, no. But it's still significantly better.
Yeah, it's in a lot more. It's the second most nominated game after Expedition 33, which says a lot. Whereas Shadows, it ain't.
It's up for what was it?
Accessibility.
Yeah. So credit I'm going to give credit where credit's due there. Like, it's an important thing, but
it is.
Yeah, you need. See, this is where Prince of Persia needs. I think it really does, because it's a beloved game.
Yeah.
So you've got a beloved game at a point when Ubisoft are in a kind of weak position in terms of
it's one of those things where
you need to get this right.
Yeah, and you'd like to think if it did well, we could see a new entry.
Oh, I hope
that's
it does
the whole
well.
point. Like just to see something fresh and new.
I've never played a Prince of Persia game. I really want Sands of Time to come out and wow me and go, I'm in.
Yeah.
I want this game to be amazing. I want this game to be must play for me.
Yeah. Time control. It's such a cool concept for video games. Like, between that and Matrix, Enter the Matrix, and the Max Payne games, the ability to slow down, rewind time, it's such a fun mechanic for puzzle solving, combat. Hell, if you die, you can just reset yourself a few times. It's such a cool premise, so yeah, I'd like to see it do well. Last ones, I guess, for the Game Awards. I think Naughty Dog will be there again with Intergalactic. They've always shown up in recent years. We had obviously Intergalactic teaser trailer last year. The year before, we had Neil Druckmann rock up with The Last of Us Part 2 teaser stuff. And then the year before that, we had him talking about The Last of Us multiplayer, which ended up getting absolutely canned. But nonetheless, he's been there consistently at the Game Awards with something. So I think maybe gameplay, do we think, for Intergalactic? It's got to be about time, right? It's due out 2026, although the rumours say it's not coming in 2026 from Jason Schreier and stuff. They've got to be at a point where they can show vertical. They haven't put out a game since 2020. You've got to have something.
I think it's going to be one of them trailers where it bounces between some like out of context cutscenes and flashes of gameplay.
Yeah.
You're not going to see anything significant, because I think Sony will want to hold that back for a state of play themselves. Or a showcase, probably a showcase actually. But if they just want to remind people that it's coming next year, and it's just like a bit of a tease, like, yep, he's a few flashes of cutscenes and with a few random bits of combat or something, bang, 2026. There you go. Yeah.
Well, Naughty Dog, like the Uncharted vertical slice they showed off at E3 a few years ago, where it was the Madagascar scene. You had a bit of a cutscene with Nate. They showed off the fight scene throughout the marketplace, the truck chasing them, and then a bit of the open world exploration. Yeah. Little tease like that could work.
Nothing big.
And then and then I guess if they don't want to go with Intergalactic, I think Santa Monica, Cory Barlog's secret game that he's been working on for like 4 and a bit years, I think could be ready for a tease.
Yeah.
Just even give us maybe a look at the protagonist in a bit of a cinematic, and then maybe the name of the game, just so we can get hyped over. Is it new IP? Is it a God of War spin-off? Like, what's the crack? Because it's been a while. Seemingly every other studio's just knuckling down, cracking on with stuff.
I'm going to run through some quick that we know that are definitely coming next year, but I expect might be at the Game Awards. So Code Vein 2 comes out in January 29th. Feel like that will be there. We've talked about it before. Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined comes out February 5th. Feels like a good place to drop another trailer. Neo 3, February 6th. Again, Koei Tecmo. Feels like a good place for us.
Yeah.
We've mentioned Requiem, Crimson Desert. Judas, yeah.
I feel like Judas has been a long time coming since it was first shown off as well. Like, that surely must be soon.
I'm actually just going through thegamer.com and just for some games that are confirmed for next year. So Crimson Desert, it's March 19th.
Yeah, I think that got delayed from March. Oh, did it delayed to March 19th?
It got delayed to March.
Yeah. The Iron Man game and the Captain America game, like Hydra 1946. Like, I feel like they haven't had anything recently as well. I know we said Remedy earlier on. They could hit us maybe with a double punch because they're working on the Max Payne remakes in line with Take-Two.
Yeah, Clockwork Revolution. The creators have been talking that it's the most complicated game they've ever worked on.
See, it's like Xbox, because they have the developer direct in January. I'm always like, do Xbox show big here, or do they just give like lesser things? But then remember, at the Game Awards, didn't they announce the Xbox Series X and S many years back? I feel like that's where the big reveal was. Phil Spencer came out on stage and they showed off the new hardware. So in a year where we're heading into 2026 with potentially a new Xbox, now could be the time for Phil to step up and like, here it is. Forget your Steam machine. The next gen's here with Xbox Series Y.
Steam machine's going to be here.
You think?
Good place for it. Mm-hmm. Nvidia probably is going to be here. Amazon Games is going to be there. Not Luna.
Prime Gaming will probably sponsor the whole thing.
Yes.
But then Luna won't have any presence whatsoever.
Yeah, I reckon something Monster Hunter will be there. I don't know what's up next, but it feels like that.
I do hope we see some Jurassic Park Survival.
Oh yeah,
that's the horror game that I'm all in for. As a coward, but a huge Jurassic Park fan.
What do you think the biggie's going to be?
Yeah, because there's got to be one, hasn't there?
Because everything we've talked about, all big games, but
they're not
the big one.
Yeah.
A Silent Hill remake.
Half-Life 3?
Could be. No, that's not happening.
Is that a big game?
That would be the biggest game, full stop. Like, just on how long it's been like wanted.
I mean, if Jeff pulled out something out of his ass to somehow get GTA there, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Blade.
Blade
It's been 3 years since we got Blade at the Game Awards with that teaser.
I'm thinking things like Resident Evil Requiem could have been it because we've already had a few trailers already.
Yeah, it's been watered down a bit now, hasn't it, since then? What about Final Fantasy Remake Part 3? Has that had any kind of like big show-off moments yet?
No,
trailers, reveals?
We know it's coming, but that's it. We don't... The name. We don't officially know the name of Part 3. Nope.
Oh, okay. There could be something there then. If PlayStation like to show off, if it's not Naughty Dog, it could be like a Square thing.
That could be, actually... I think that could be it. I think enough time's passed. It's been, 2 years? Almost?
I feel like it's been a good while since the Rebirth, was it? The middle one?
Yeah, I think it's been about a year and a half, I think, since Rebirth came out. Maybe a bit longer. I want to say it was February last year. So coming up to 2 years. So here it's time. Here we're going to be there, and we're going to drop the name of the Part 3.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like it's not going to be a 2026 game, but it's probably a 2027 game. Mm-hmm. It feels like the time's right.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up with Game Awards before we round up the show?
No, I think we can jump into there's the two studio quick announcements, isn't there, that have came out for new games.
Which ones? I know the Recreation team have been redundant.
Yeah, you've got the ones from... So, Sony, obviously, PlayStation closed down Sony London a while back in 20... Can't remember what it was now. 2024, maybe? They showed them. Those were the folks who worked on all of the VR games. They did the iToy games, the Blood and Truth games. Really good games, but obviously specific to VR. They were working on a multiplayer title, and apparently the people who were laid off, they've kind of reformed, got together and made a new studio, and then there's like a spiritual successor that's came from this studio. So the studio is called Twisted Works, and they're making a game called Castouts, and they're putting it on all platforms. Basically, it's an online co-op game with an urban fantasy-inspired London that's intertwined with a fantastical wonder, delivering a sense of newness and nostalgia, discovery, and familiar favourites, whatever that really means, in a fantasy modern jacket. Use spells and magic to get around, defeat enemies, with a similar concept to what Studio London was working on before it was closed down. Probably looking at 2027 for this release, but looking at the trailer, it looks like a bit of generic slop. Unfortunately for me, I don't really know. In a weird way, as when I first looked at it, it was like it reminded me of Outcasters, but 3D. Yeah, with fantasy stuff. And there's this Cast Outs and Outcasters. I thought there was some irony in the naming convention there. But you know what? The good thing when studios are closed down is the talent that is there. They do get to then break away in the little pockets. And this is where we get indie studios.
Some of the indie studios could be from India.
They could. I mean, the people who were working on Prince of Persia remake were from India before they got pulled.
Indies are weird for me because I don't play a lot of indie games, but I always tend to respect them from afar, and I think they're insanely important for the gaming industry because I think that's where you get a lot more creativity and risk taking, novel ideas actually not getting drowned out by formula, open world or basically sticking to a formula. When every time I complain about a game looking too much like a Soulsborne game, I basically say it's subscribing too much to a formula that I do not personally enjoy. Mm-hmm. You tend to get that less in the indie space, but yeah.
I mean, if you look at just this year alone, Expedition 33, Dispatch, Blueprints, and Hollow Knight Silksong, all indie studios, and arguably 4 of the best, if not the best games of the year.
Yeah.
Right there. So go figure. So the more the merrier.
We've also got Bad Robot Games, who made the Left 4 Dead games, are teaming up with Sony. They've not to produce a 4-player co-op shooter. That's about all we know at this point, but good to know. Left 4 Dead, great games.
Yeah, didn't have a Sony partnership on my bingo card for this week, so it was interesting for it to show up. I don't think Bad Robot Games have actually put out a game yet. I think they're newly formed as well. Looking at the blog.
It's Mike Booth, who was the creator for Left 4 Dead, is at the helm of the studio.
Right, yeah, so the game is currently in development, partnering with them. It's a bit odd that they'd make an announcement, because even the announcement, it's not on the PlayStation blog, it's on the Sony Interactive Entertainment blog. So it's been segmented to its own area for some reason, so probably a tax reason.
It might be a case they needed to do the announcement for shareholder reasons or something.
Yeah,
but
true.
they didn't want to put it on the PlayStation blog because they didn't really have anything to talk about.
Yeah,
but
it's probably...
Yet it's made it to the GamerGuild podcast. We'll
always cover everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting new stuff coming.
Yeah.
We touched on it earlier on a little bit, but yeah, Avatar's third-person expansion and update with that's From the Ashes is the DLC, which ties in with Fire and Ash, the movie that's due to come out on the 19th of December. So what they kind of put out in the press statement for this one is they're looking for brand synergy through this one, and I kind of lamented it when this game first came out. Is, if you recall, it was due to come out with the last movie, and it got delayed, which pushed it back out of the window. So I think the movie came out in the December 2023. The game didn't come out until the spring 2024, so they missed the boat. It reviewed like a typical Ubisoft game. It was okay. It was okay. Yeah. I did a first look on the channel. It was okay. But the first-person Far Cry approach, I didn't feel immersed in that world fully, even though, ironically, first-person should be more immersive. I wanted to see my big, giant blue avatar guy.
To paraphrase my girlfriend's kind of review of it, because she has an Instagram where every game she plays, she actually does a little bit of a review when she finishes playing. What she said is basically the story's really good, but again, like a lot of Ubisoft games, when you fixated on the story, you've actually got some fantastic storytelling there. But the way they build their open worlds and the side content often means you go on 10, 15 hours between story beats, and you completely lose track of what's going on. Yeah. And then you end up ultimately feeling like you're just there doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff.
Yeah,
none of it's bad, but it's like sometimes the games get in their own way.
Yeah, I agree. So I already own the game.
Solid 8 out of 10.
As part of this update pack, though, they said that they're clearly aiming for a bit more of a cohesive brand experience, and so now this update's dropping just ahead of the new movie. So yeah, in terms of movie tie-ins and stuff, that's all going to be there as part of this DLC packs. But simply put, according to Push Square, third person reinvents the game. Massive Entertainment has gone above and beyond to implement a third person mode that feels cinematic, immersive, and most importantly, it doesn't feel like attack on. Combat is incredibly sharp, especially with unique kill animations that let you take out the bad guy mechs in style. You can also play the base full game version in third person mode too, which means all of your customizable attire that you get, you can actually see. They said there's a couple of little bugs that could need tweaking and stuff, but the main thing is traversal, combat, and the immersion all feel top tier in this new third-person mode. If you don't like it, just switch back to first-person whenever you please. But that, along with new story, new characters, and then, like I said, the massive... But this movie's probably going to gross like $1 billion like they all have.
Oh, yeah, well.
But yeah, it seems like it's that thing where it's like, you know what? Credit where credit's due to Ubisoft, and probably the partnerships with Disney and stuff. I said, no, You don't just let this go. You miss your deadline for getting this out on time. You commit to making it a better product. And as gamers, if you've held off a year or two to play this game, this is seemingly now when to get in.
I think it is a brilliant move to hold back probably this game mode till now, because they're getting the double dip for people who didn't play the game originally because of whatever reason. They're going to go to cinema, see Avatar, wanting to get engrossed in that world, and then, okay, I'll go pick up Avatar. But then by making a third-person mode and releasing it now, those who've already played may go back to re-experience the game from a different perspective. So it's not like you're just going back to play through the game as it was in your first-person mode. It probably will feel like a different game mechanically. So it's a smart move. Final story of the week, Chris. The Witcher. So The Witcher, over CG Projekt Red, they've announced that they're going to do a trilogy of Witcher games, and they intend for all 3 games to be out within 6 years. Quite tight.
Lies. It ain't happening at all. Like, come on.
It could though.
Come on. No.
I am skeptical. It's not going to be 6 years. It's going to be 10. But
when did The Witcher 3 come out? 2014.
Yeah, but then they're working on Cyberpunk and everything to do with that. That pushed them.
Well, they've got Cyberpunk 2 that they're also working on.
Yeah, but they scaled up a lot during that time. But so if they're doing the Lord of the Rings thing, Chris, where Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3 back to back, I feel like that might be the plan to basically build all 4 games. Right, the story is probably written for all 4 games at the same time. They're going to probably use a lot of common art assets to build them back to back.
I appreciate your faith in CD Projekt.
Oh no, I don't. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because it needs to be a conversation, but I think it's not going to be done in 6 years.
Witcher 4's say what 2027? You would guess. So you're telling me they're telling us by 2030
from the first game to the third game coming out though.
But they're saying by 2033 we'll have had Witcher 4, Witcher 5, and Witcher 6. Nah. I don't reckon they'll get 2 out, let alone 3.
I reckon they'll get 2. But if you think about it, in a 6-year period, if they're counting from when Witcher 4 comes out, then you've got 3 years for Witcher 5 and 3 years for Witcher 6. And they've already had quite a few years in a run-up, probably with this plan in mind. So it is doable. So I understand why they're saying that. But it feels overly ambitious. CG Projekt Red have made this problem before, being overly ambitious with the games. And I feel like it's completely unnecessary to tell us this.
Because they've got spin-off projects as well, haven't they? They've got 2 other Witcher things going on.
I feel like, though, the core Witcher team is going to be working on The Witcher 4, 5, and 6. CG Projekt Red's team is going to be working on Cyberpunk 2. Then the other teams are going to be working on other stuff.
Yeah.
So I can see how it's doable, because the 6 years from now is probably more likely 8 to 9 years. But I still not.
Is it just a bit of a bit of a peacocking thing for shareholders? Do you think?
Maybe it wasn't
like
a financial,
the whole Cyberpunk thing.
It wasn't a financial call, but. Sometimes you don't know. I'm working on a project at work myself at the moment, and sometimes you don't know what issues you're going to hit in a project till sometimes fairly late in the project. And sometimes it's stuff that you've never encountered before, so you don't know how I'm used to having a project manager chase me on stuff and go, how long is it going to take to do this? And I'm turning around going, I don't know. I've never done this before. At this point in time, I don't even know how complex the problem is, never mind have a solution in mind. It could be hours, it could be weeks. I don't know. So I'm guessing this sort of behaviour sometimes creeps into game development as well. Or any other project work.
Maybe AI is going to do it all.
Hopefully not.
By then. Just they're going to go into ChatGPT and go, here's the source code for Witcher 3, make me Witcher 4 and 5 and 6.
We've wrote the story of Witcher 4, 5 and 6, make the game please.
No, let's let AI write the story as well.
Yeah.
Write at least three chapters of Geralt's Adventures. With Ciri.
I was going to say it's not Geralt's Adventures, it's Ciri's Adventures this time round.
But he's still in it.
Yeah, but that is all we have time for this week. And as always, we'd like to end the show with This Week in Video Game History. So starting on December the 5th, Mr. Chris, what have you got for us?
Gran Turismo 6, released on the PlayStation 3 in 2013. So 12 years ago, we got the continuation of the fantastic Gran Turismo.
Yeah, that's all we have, really.
Actually, shout out to Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops on the PSP 19 years ago in 2006. That's arguably the kind of breadcrumbs what led to Peace Walker. Yeah. So shout out to that one.
I feel like December 6th is a better day, definitely. You've got classics like Mega Man 4 and Final Fantasy 5, Parappa the Rapper.
On 1996. Yeah. Chop. I actually don't have Parappa the Rapper on PlayStation.
Lost Odyssey, which is a game I've been told many, many times by our audience that I need to play on Xbox. So that's a game I keep forgetting about. I need to get around to play that.
The Last Guardian finally released.
It did.
9 years ago after that whole back and forth. And 1 year ago, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Indeed. So this time last year, I was probably doing a first look for the channel.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Hades came out on PC 7 years ago. Another indie darling.
Oh, and there you go, Richie. On December the 7th, 2 years ago, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora on PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, and Google Stadia.
Nice. But
Do you think we'll get the DLC on Stadia? The third-person update?
You're a brave man if you put money on that bet.
It's on Amazon Luna, though, as well, right? I guess that's the modern-day equivalent.
Yeah, yes, but the difference with Amazon Luna and Google Stadia is Amazon Luna still exists.
Yes, it does. Really well, actually, getting a few more games.
I think you'll get the DLC on Luna, but not on Stadia. That's my bet.
Before we round out, people in our Discord chat, Mafia Definitive Edition came to Amazon Luna this week.
You almost forgot about it.
I almost forgot about it, but there it is.
Yeah, but that is all we have time for this week. If you've liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you get in the loop of all the fantastic content here at GamerGuildTV. If you're quite cold this winter, maybe you want to pick up a hoodie or a fantastic t-shirt that Chris is sporting right now. Or maybe a mug to put some nice hot chocolate in. I recommend the black one. I use it at work all the time. And with that, my name's been Richie.
I've been Chris.
GG everyone, goodbye.
To the Game Awards.